It is definitely a requirement. It's one thing when you have someone, especially as an apprentice, who does not add the value that a journeyman does. So it's one thing to you have to chauffeur him around, but if you're chauffeuring the new guy who doesn't really bring much, it's kind of like, well, you know, you can see how that could cause a lot of complications, right? Especially if you don't live near anyone else. It can definitely be. I'm not saying it's impossible though, and speaking from experience, like when I did the OYAP program, I first started out when I was 17. I only had my G2. I didn't have a car, but I just so happened to live so close to the shop that I said, hey, listen, there was another apprentice who was a 2-minute walk. I said, if I could get myself to the shop, I said, could I just like kind of work with him? And the owner was willing to compromise on that. So it's not impossible because I have done it, but obviously it is a lot harder. And even the owner told me straight up at the company I was not Be Safe Electric, but he was like, I don't think I've ever had someone like, make a request like that. He's like, but you know what? He's like let's see what you got, right? He's like, he said if that's the deciding factor that will, as Rob mentioned, prove that you deserve that spot as an apprentice, he's like, I'll make it happen, but you got to work to keep it, right? Like I'm not just gonna, like you said, right? If you're I don't want to say bad employee, but if you're not contributing, then why are you going to go out of your way if you're not willing to put in the effort? So.
The reality is just logically, listen, the jobs start between mine anyway, 5 and 7 in the morning. If you can't get there, you can't work. And I don't know how else to sugarcoat it. It is what it is. If and then at the end of the day, it becomes a pain in the ass for me or my project managers to figure out which job you can go to at what time, and you just become a hassle. It becomes such an inconvenience, such a burden on our end to try to figure out who's got a license, who doesn't, who lives where, that at the end of the day, it's 9 times out of 10 not really worth it for us. Unfortunately, that's just the reality.